Hello everyone, my name is Avinash, and I don't know whose idea was this to talk about men in general from iThrive men, but it is proving to be quite a insightful session. Every month that we come with Tuesday talks about men in general, the topics, the issues that matters to the men, and it is proving to be quite a good talk, and we are able to garner a lot of audiences around it, and we are able to get lots of insight on the topics which we rarely talk about, right? Emotions like sexual issues, or even the issues pertaining to the action, the behavior of the men around us. And I don't know how fruitful it is for the audience, but I am sure what we are talking is straight from the heart. We don't have any other intention of doing this, and that's why I keep getting newer men of iThrive into this program. So we are, in fact, there were two. One unfortunately is not able to make it, but we have a new attendee today, Prasad. He is a very dynamic head of marketing at iThrive and also a great creator. And so through these episodes, through this program, through this talk, we want to bring focus on issues which are related to the men. So before I get into today's topic, can we have a brief introduction, Suyash and Prasad, both of you? Who are you? What do you do?
Sure,
Yes, Suyash.
sure, Prasad. Okay, cool. So I'm Suyash, and as you most of you must be knowing, I'm involved in a lot in making supplements, and I'm also heading supplements vertical here at iThrive, and I've been also coaching clients, helping them heal, and that's what I do, and that's what I love doing it, and I think that's why I'm here at iThrive, and yeah, that's very short about me, that this is what I do. And besides that, I love researching, and I just love to dig deep into different things in life as well. uh, I think that's all from my side, right?
Yes, Prasad. Brief intro.
Yes, Avinash. First of all, thank you for inviting me for this live. And about me, I am now heading to all our audience. I am now heading the marketing team at iThrive. Apart from that, my hobbies are making videos. So I make one video every day on various
Yeah,
topics.
yeah, that is a great initiative you have started. Yes. So today we're going to talk about something which just the team asked me what should be the topic for the next Tuesday talk, and I was just contemplating what are the main who are bothered about. Like I'm clueless. Like most of the time, I don't know what general men think about. So I try to bring out my past experiences with the normie life that I had, and how I can relate that to the kind of work I do. So it was more of connecting mind and money. So one is highly ephemeral thing, the money part, the hard cash, materialistic word, and the mind is something which has not been explored enough or has not been given enough attention, but it exists. It exists in a form where no one can see it, but everyone can experience it. So I wanted to bring these two aspects of having a hardcore tangible thing with a hardcore intangible thing, and see how they are related to each other, especially with reference to the men in general, and especially again men in India in particular. So my fundamental, the basic question I'm going to talk about or start with is how do we relate to money as a man? So when we were brought up as a kid, I think most of the Indian household or the most of the Indian men will relate to this talk of you being the provider, you being the earning member of the family. Even when you hit a puberty, like you're always been given that choose science over arts because you're supposed to be an engineer, doctor, or become earning member. Like these are the professional choices we had back then. So there was always that not may not be direct but indirect pressure or expectation from all the members of the family, and at the same time, women were supposed to know more about cooking and taking care of the house and silai, kadai, and all that thing. So that aspect we can deal with at a different level. But this particular aspect of men being a bread earner or a provider or a money maker or in extreme cases ATM. I'll come to that where that word is coming from. There is a personal anecdote about it. So main being the ATM of the family. Okay, you just put a card and money will come out. So, Suyash, how has your childhood has been with respect to these aspects? Like you choose a different path as compared to what traditionally your family has been into. You're more into business, trading, and other things, and you chose to follow the science and dig deeper into the consciousness and the human mind and the nutrition aspect of it. So, was there a pressure on you, or direct, indirect? I think Prasad has some issues. He will join back, but we'll continue our discussion. So was there some kind of direct, indirect pressure on you to become being a man? You have to earn, you have to be the breadwinner. That is how you will get a girl. Otherwise, you won't find a girl. So tell me more about that.
Yeah. I'll start with a very beautiful quote which I often come across.
Yes.
Basically, in our culture, money equals success. That's what I have seen from the time I have brought up. Right, everywhere, whether you go to your relatives, whether go to your friends, family, what are you doing, in what position you are, whether you have a white collar job or not, and the kind of labels and the kind of judgment they look and see onto, that is something I think puts us, like, puts on us an immense pressure to perform and to do well in certain areas of life. Now for me, it has been because my father was more into accounts and business. I definitely studied commerce to some extent, but it was still a time when I was more conscious, when I discovered my purpose, that this is not where I'm supposed to do. This is but I never lied accounts. I did it just for the sake of because I was there, like, because I don't want, I don't know
You were supposed to join father's business and look
Ha,
after that.
exactly. I don't know, okay, what I have to do in my life, right? That's what the reason I was following that path. But the moment I discovered my purpose, the moment I discovered that seed of potential which I had, right, that's where the shift in consciousness happened. And from that moment, never I have consciously focused on that part, and then I started working on to create my own path. I didn't, like, I didn't stress about that, what that path might lead me to, whether I might be
Mhm.
jobless, whether I might not earn that much money. It's okay.
So
But
was your family okay with that? You are not following something which
no,
will give you
that's
money.
the reason I was struggling to get out of that stuff, right? Because my father was behind me that, okay, I need to do complete my bachelor's and master's in computers, and then you can go and free, whether if you don't do anything, that you have something to back up with. So all that kind of stuff, right? I did as well to a certain extent. But the moment I got a little bit freedom to explore myself, that's the moment when I started, like when I came to Pune. I wasn't having much of contact with my family, and that's where I started a little bit experiments with exploring what kind of possibilities I have, where I can grow with. That's the moment I think universe helped me, and then the consciously I choose certain paths which led me to right direction, and that's where I end up here most of the time, because in the kind of field which I am, which is nutrition, where you'll feel a lot of female colleagues in my life. Like, I have seen very very less males in it. So they also used to question me that how will you earn for your family, like being a man in this field, because was not much money involved into it. That it's not a high paying job outside, I'll say. Okay,
Mhm.
we have a whole different universe here at iThrive, definitely. That set us apart. But outside, we don't have that much. So everything was questioned, and then thing was seen with the label and the judgment stuff, right? I think that was the stress pressure period which me, but I know that something, okay, I'll get it somehow, do it. I'll be able to do that. I'll find the right partner for me. I'll end up in good relationship. I somehow used to come out of the criticism with just a positive thinking and just motivation, and by seeing and with learning with other mentors and people in my life. I think
So,
that has definitely
yeah,
worked well.
just a trivia. How many men have followed what you have done that
Uh,
you know of?
I rarely come across for
I-
sure, like,
you
of
might be
course,
an exception, especially from the background that you come from.
definitely, like, and the other thing was challenging part was that no one was there in our from this field in my family, right? So there was nobody to guide me that okay, you can choose this part and you can end up here, right? So the whole journey I had to did at my own trial and error stuff, and that's how I think I ended up based on that, right? But I did had that trust in, I don't know, higher self, universe, God, consciousness, whatever you say, that okay, I'll be able to do something in my life if I keep on following my passion. That was the belief, hardcore belief which I had, and I think that's what had keep me growing and keep me motivating towards that.
Hmm,
So
interesting. I mean, you are really an exception, and definitely you are doing exceptional work at iThrive that I know of.
trying my best.
Yeah. So, Prasad, coming from a middle class, upper middle class family from a Maharashtra farming
Yeah.
community, and and engineering or becoming a doctor was more of a escape from the farming stress itself. Like farming doesn't provide enough to take care of your need. That is the reality with the smaller land holding
Mhm.
and lots of issues with irrigation and the kind of crops that we
Yeah.
produce. So was it from the childhood that you were meant to do engineering? Someone put it in your head, okay, this is what you're supposed to do, because you
Uh,
did engineering and you ended up becoming a creative person after that. So how was that journey been?
yeah. So my father is a teacher. So for me, it was not decided like whether I will be an engineer or a doctor. So that freedom my father gave it to me, like do whatever you want to do. Because in my family, like there are 50% of the male are either teacher or they are into police profession. So for me, my father and mother both always encouraged me to pursue whatever, whichever area of field you want to pursue. So that was not the I can say problem since the beginning, because we are discussing about the money aspect. So for me, that was not even today area of concern, because for few men, for few of my colleagues, that becomes a deciding factor whether to pursue this career or whether to choose this profession or whatever they want to pursue, even if it is a hobby. So for me, that was not the barrier. Whatever
Hmm.
I have chosen, the path which I have chosen, was out of only sheer out of like interest. So I
Hmm.
knew that mechanical engineering is something I'm good as a designer. I'm good. So I was earlier fascinated about this designing cars and all those things. So that's why maybe that's why I chose mechanical engineering. And even after doing mechanical engineering, I did GATE, I qualified GATE, then I joined ONGC, and then I again left. You know the other story.
Hmm.
But coming back to the question, so I had that freedom to choose the career path, and it was not like societal pressure or even parents' pressure to decide. Okay, since you have to earn or since you have to do like even let's talk
So
about
within
marriage.
your own mind, was it driven by the ability to make money, or was it driven by the
No, it
interest that?
was interest and passion, and even today also. I'm glad that you mentioned about the village economy and all those aspects. But like from that front as well, I'm very, I can say, very stable
Hmm.
because
Okay.
I'm the only son, and my father. We have like 10, 15 acres of land, irrigated land, and everything is like settled on that front as well. But I still have that freedom to pursue my interest, pursue my career, and it's not merely driven by the money factor.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, lots of interesting take here. Like we three have a different story about how we were brought up. Like in my case, it was always like, how do you make money? Like, that was
Mm,
the question of survival. The best way to make money is to become an engineer or a doctor, and that is how I ended up being an engineer. At the age of 45, I realized, okay, I was like average engineer. Maybe I should do something else, and that is how I got into this mind healing or health coaching part. But that apart, like I have seen people who are coming from, especially the men who come from that background, even if they are from a richer families, even if they are from a well-to-do families, there is that social conditioning is there. Ki men are supposed to do this and women are supposed to do that, right? So that differentiation itself is about men are supposed to go out, even in the, in our hunter-gatherer days. I think that is how the patriarchal
Yeah.
system was built in. Ki men are supposed to go out and hunt and bring food to the
correct.
family, and women are
I would
supposed to
like to
make
share
it.
one interesting stat over here, Avinash.
Yes.
So recently I was reading a news article, and there the male to female, like female workforce participation rate in India is only 19%.
Yeah.
So if we go by this stat alone, and if we calculate the remaining women who are not part of the workforce, if we just calculate that number, then that number would become fifth largest country in the world.
Yeah.
So
I know, but our desire to work in today's context is more to do with our ability to make money. So women are not skilled to that way. Okay, they're supposed to go out and work and find employment and make money for to run the family. Even now, even if they're trained to
right,
do something or educated to do something, their option it is optional to make money. They will always be told कि we will find someone for you who is making money and you take care of his family. If possible, if they allow, then you can go and make money for yourself. So that financial independence or men are supposed to create a family, a house and provide for everyone is again even in our even now it is optional for most of the women. So for men, it is not optional. Like there are very rare families who say, "Okay, you do whatever you want. We will take care of your financial needs." But society looks down upon those kind of things. Like there was a movie about this key and something, the role
Yeah.
reversal part. Like girl is going out and making all kinds of money and business decision, and the man is taking care of the house. So,
right,
Suyash, this is like evolutionary question, like fundamentally, biologically also. Women are supposed to be the nurturer of the family. They're supposed to reproduce. They're supposed to um, um, nurture the kid who is going to get into the world. Does that put unnecessary risk? I mean, does that put necessary restriction on their ability to be independent, family unit on their own? Do they have to necessarily depend on a man to provide for themselves? What is your take on
Highly disagree, Avinash. Definitely, that is just one of the role which women play, right, in their life based on their different age and then different situation in life. But they are not limited with that role, right? They have a huge, let's say, divine energy, within themselves to explore that those infinite possibilities, right? They can go wherever, whatever they want to do, and they have both thing, right? They have that fire as well as they have that soft nurturing ability which they can switch into whenever they want to. So I think limiting to them to one potential definitely
why I
is
brought this topic? No, because most of the time men are given this logic. Okay, they are not biologically are not supposed to go out and make money for themselves or do the hard work of going out and making money or feeding the family. It is man's job because men can't reproduce or they can't nurture, they can't feed the baby. So necessarily woman has to be at home and men are supposed to go out. So is there some kind of evolutionary logic behind doing this thing, or it is just to put men under
that's just
unnecessary pressure?
temporary. Maybe
We are going to talk more about men than women.
no, I
So
mean
yeah,
this is an interesting topic. Like I would like to
exactly.
share since like even since childhood now, if you see in homes, like what kind of gifts generally are offered for young children. If there is a like a male kid, then most of the guests they buy bat or ball or something like that. And for a girl child, there is always a doll or something like that. So
yeah.
this kind of environment is created since beginning,
Hmm.
and I won't say that is present everywhere. So obviously, like we are now educated and we know like why there should be equal opportunities, equal atmosphere, equal surrounding for all, both the male and girl kid.
Hmm.
So I think now this picture is changing, and coming back to the questions whether like does that put unnecessary burden on the male kid? Yes, but for only for those who are basically nurtured in that surrounding. But
Hmm.
if you ask me that question, so the answer is no, because I have a sister and like we are only two kids. So always there was a balance maintained in all aspects, and that basically helped me to evolve and see things differently than what society tells to the to most of the people.
Yeah, so coming back to my mind healing journey of people that I work with, like I see lots of people are under the tremendous pressure of, living up to the society standard, to, keep doing things that give them that money. As Suyash mentioned, it was a status symbol. It is more of from a stature's point of view. Keep buying the flat, keep investing money, keep chasing money, irrespective of whatever their creative inclination or interest is. And most of the men that I talk to, they had this idealistic life vision of getting making enough money, getting retired at 45, buy a small farmland and do kheti badi and catch fish and feed themselves through that mode. And they are living in that dream day in and day out. They don't realize when this 45 has gone to 55 to 65 to 75. At some point, that dream has evaporated. Their mind has stopped comprehending also what you were thinking about. So that what you are supposed to follow versus what you are made to follow, and then you create an alternate lifestyle for alternate dream for yourself or alternate purpose for yourself, just to keep yourself going. Like you created a mirage in your own mind. Yeah, at 45 I'm going to retire, I'm going to have a farmland, I'm going to do my kiti badi, and by the time you're 45 your kids want to go to US, right? So you still have to keep working to make sure that he goes to the US, and then keep feeding him and providing for him. So we have, most of the men that I have seen are caught in that trap of continuously making money. They forgot to ask that question why, and to how long, whether that money is feeding their mind, because mind has the ability to create the goal. Like it creates goal for you. Okay, this is what you're supposed to do next year. This is what you're supposed to do, and the body is supposed to keep doing that. The mind is telling you this is your target for the year. You have to have bank balance of 1 crore. Now it is body which is running to make that 1 crore possible. The mind has given the target. So in that process, what is happening? This mind and body is always in that tussle. Mind is telling you you're not doing enough because our target is 1 crore, and body is saying, okay, I am doing enough, but it is not happening. So there is always that cascading effect, mind pulling the body down and the body pulling the mind down. So this money and mind are so intricately related, especially with the kind of society we have built, or the kind of things that society rewards. Having a good car, good designation, big bank balance, and big foreign holidays, everything requires money. Money is not evil. What is happening with the most of the men is they're only doing money.
Right.
They have forgotten everything. It's like Prasad had the luxury of educated parents who told him, okay, do whatever you want. We are there to provide for you. 99% of the people I know, they don't have. They didn't have. So they are still chasing the money without thinking and stopping. Why are you chasing the money? So, Suyesh, like you must have had some idea ki how much money you recently bought lots of wealth and lots of real estate. So you had this idea, okay, at the age of this, I want to buy a flat, or do you still have those ideas? If 45, you want to retire and have a farmland and cook for yourself and do things for yourself. What is
Not
your vision? What is your
Yeah,
goal?
so like whatever experience which I've accumulated, Avinash, I don't have any ideology kind of this thing that okay, after this certain age I have to do this stuff, right? Whatever I have to do with the current thing, like the passion thing, the work which I'm doing, of course that needs to go simultaneously with it. I'm not doing this for earning money, right? I'm doing just because I love doing that, right? So that love, that like the potential which I can help people with, right? That is the thing which I need care more about instead of doing that. uh, so even after a certain age or doing that stuff, I would maybe I would take some time off just for the sake of rejuvenating, relaxing. But again, I'll be doing that stuff itself, right? But it's not that okay, I have an ideology that okay, after this certain age, I'll have a such balance in my account so that I can go on a vacation, I can go around the world, right? I don't have that kind of ideology because that feels empty to me certain time. Okay, it's fine for a week or 2 weeks, you can enjoy, you can have a fresh vacation. but doing any other things more than that, will start to feel empty. That okay, I need to do this kind of stuff, invest my energy into this more often. And there is a very good quote which I come across while I was watching this movie called Pursuit of Happiness a long years back. The quote was something like that the balance in your life is more important than the balance in your savings account, right?
Hmm.
So disrupting this balance right now at the life in the present moment which you're living, and then accumulating for your future which we are not sure about, which we don't know whether it will be the way which we want or not, doesn't make sense to me itself. And that is why I'm very very bad at savings. You can ask this to Nisha as well. Nisha is the person who actually takes care of the savings and all that stuff, because I'm very bad at calculating and savings for future and all that stuff, right? So yeah, that's my take from maybe Prasad. You can add
Cool.
on.
I mean, I did one exclusive podcast on that Embracing the Human Experience series on the aspect of money. Like, what is money finally? Money is again a man made construct. Earlier, it used to be like barter trade and you exchange goods or services. Okay, I want a haircut. Not that I need a haircut, I don't need a
Exactly.
haircut. But yes, some of us need
Yeah,
haircut.
and
So, in return, you give them some sabji or vegetable or fruits or something like that. So, that construction of money to enable transaction, to facilitate transaction across the service range, across the product range is what brought money into the picture.
yeah,
Now that
exactly.
money,
I see the same thing, right? Just money needs to be taken care of my needs. That's it. Like a good home, just food. I like to invest in the best quality food and supplements. If it's taken care of that stuff, I am fine. I am not into more of materialistic thing that okay, I need to buy this expensive stuff, all of that, right? That's what I've realized right now at the moment I buy a house, and the moment I again purchase a car as well, right? That this is not the stuff I believe, but okay, yeah, it's good that I want to live a kind of quality of life. That's fine. Just for the sake of that, it needs to be taken care, right? I think that's the other
so
side of it.
Prasad Suyash wants to work till his last breath. That is what this means indirectly. Because if he's not going to save or retire early, he has to keep working till his last day. So I wish him all the best. That is how life should be. Even my plan is to work till my last breath. So what is your plan? Like how much money you want to create or how much abundance wealth you want to have before you can say, okay, now I have done enough. Now let me just do Sitapal ki Bagh.
So this story I'll share with audience some other day. But coming back to your question, so money is required for like everyone for to live a life which all of us expect कि हाँ ये होना चाहिए life में. But relating with the two other points like mind and body, uh, mind aspect, I think for me it is not driven by the only money. I feel like experience is more important, and there the story, the Sitapur ki Bagh comes in. I feel because if I'm there or if I'm in some different condition where I don't need money to buy a car or buy home, and I'm living in a peace, I think that would be enough for me. Uh, just going by whatever you're saying. So it's not a number or a year when I want to achieve it, or I should have this much bank balance on this day and then I will go home and then I will retire. I think this doesn't work in real life. You always have ups and downs, and maybe 3 or 4 years down the line, who knows like what will be my expectations and what the metrics wants to offer to me. So that will keep on changing.
Yeah.
But at like in present situation, uh, I am more focused about experiences rather than how much I am getting out of it and where I am spending, and that kind of helps me to balance the mind aspect,
Hmm.
uh, and that's my secret. I can say.
So money fundamentally is a provider. Like money should provide what men are expected to do. That money is supposed to do. The
Right.
money should provide, not men, right? And then the human experience starts from there. You take care of your the basic requirement, as Suyesh rightly said, in terms of your safety. You need a safe place. You need good food to feed yourself, you need supplements, you need to have the basic necessities and luxuries of life. Everything is fine. The problem comes when the basic things that you require to function, to explore your other dimension. That is what we are here for, to explore your mind and the spiritual aspect of it. That takes the back seat. What you are doing is you are only following that path of chasing money because I need more money. My requirements are not
Right.
getting fulfilled. 3 BHK is not enough. I need a 4 BHK. One flat is not enough. I need two flats. I don't know. Maybe they are buying those flats for people like me who only rent places, who don't buy things. So, this chasing money, instead of it becoming providing for you or a provider for you, you start providing for that money. You give money a purpose to exist
Right.
because you're working for the money, not the other way around. The money should work for you. The money should give you all the pleasures. The money should give you that satisfaction. Okay, these are the things. It allows you the freedom of choices that you can have. It allows you to do things effortlessly. So money should be there to help you out. Now, what we have gotten into, most of us have gotten into the trap of money making us do things that we normally wouldn't do. We wouldn't do a job which we know that it is going to be toxic for us or which is
Right.
detrimental to our health. But because there is a lot of money, I will keep doing that job. I will keep getting into a relationship, although I know it is detrimental for us. But it gives me network, it gives me more access to money, or I can make more money with that network. So these are the kind of, it has become a transactional kind of thing. All
Right.
your relationship, all your connections, all your purposes, all the activity that you has become a transactional, which is
And
ultimately going to lead you to make more money. Now
right.
money is making you work. Like I always give this example why people have pets in their houses. So they are supposed to, the pets are there for our entertainment.
Right.
But it happens that we are actually there to take care of them, take care of their potty, susu, take
Right.
them out for going around and all that. So actually, it has we have not kept the dog. The dog has kept us to take care of. So
Right.
same thing is happening with money. Now, how it is going to impact your mind? Because your mind is designed in a different way. It is not designed. Mind doesn't understand the money part of it. Mind understand the abundance. Mind understand the luxuries of life. Mind understand the experiences. Mind understand the goals. Mind understand the vision. It doesn't understand this dollar or rupees or whatever British pound that we have. So the mind becomes clueless. Ki, what this guy is doing, I don't understand. So we started from a place where a man is supposed to be a provider. Now he has become a provider. Now in the process of being a provider, he started chasing something which can only provide for few things of his, and then rest of the things he is only planning for the future. Now in that process, what does money has the mind has lost his purpose. Mind doesn't know where this man is going. So that is where that word I was talking about, that mindlessness come into the picture. We keep doing things mindlessly.
Right.
So Suresh, any thing that you in your life apart from making money keep doing mindlessly. This is a
Uh,
googly, okay? I'll explain.
I also don't know, like, if I'm doing any setting up in mind. Let's see. That's where I think you and Mugda makes things make me more aware, like brings me more into consciousness, right? I think that's the reason, I don't know about that stuff. So
Mhm.
I think whatever we're doing mindlessly, we will not be aware about it, right? That
I
somewhere third
I'll
person.
share my experience over here.
Yes, yes, please.
Uh, it's not about mindlessness, but about life being very transactional.
Mhm.
So when you mentioned like people are into toxic work environment just because they are earning good money. So in my case, it was not toxic work environment, but it was like more physical work. I was working offshore oil rig. It was a 12-hour shift, and I was earning like Avinash, you are
Yeah, oil
from oil
industry
planet, so
veterans.
you know like how much we earn. So I was earning good amount of money in 2014, but my mind was always rebellious. So the analogy which you gave earlier, na, so the mind is not in sync with what your body is doing,
Yes.
and body is doing because you are running or chasing behind money. Like you need money to fulfill some XYZ things. So that was my case earlier in 2014-15 when I was working, and I again resigned and I pursued my passion. And now I don't feel myself trapped into that again money and mind conflict. And that's how I think people have to figure out their way out of this conflict,
Hmm.
money and mind
Yeah, I
conflict.
know a lot of people who come to us saying that I need a break, I need to take a break, I need to detoxify myself. I said, if you need to take a break, if you need to detoxify, don't do those things which are making you toxic. Don't do the things which you need to run away from or you need a break from, whether it is a relationship, whether it is a job, whether it is your occupation, whether it is even your passion. Like I am a recreational runner. I know so many athletes or the marathon runners who wants a break from running. I said, why are you doing that running, right? If you need a break from running, that means you're doing it to please for
Right.
something else, not for yourself. You're not doing it for your mind or for your soul. So if you need a break from something, that means that thing is not required. You're doing it under some compulsion, either to make money or to please some other people, or you're not sure of yourself. There can be so many reasons why you're doing it. But that is the first criteria. Like if you think that you can be better off by not doing this thing, you should first, at the first instance, you should leave that, right? If you don't want to do certain things, don't do it because you're doing it for some other reason. But that is where that mindlessness come into the picture, especially. We are so numb to our own thoughts and our
Hmm.
own voices. We don't listen to ourselves. And when we that the kind of work we do, not the mind, even the basic alive program, we are just asking our client to listen to themselves,
Right.
or we are providing a ear for them to listen,
Hmm.
to hear, to so that we know you. I care for you. That is what the mind needs to understand. That is what uh, all of us needs to know. Someone is there. Someone is listening, and that is when that discovery of self discovery of our life begins. And that mindlessness, then whatever you do mindlessly, you will notice immediately. Okay, I don't want to do this podcast. ये अविनाश मेरे को फुकट में बैठा के रखा है you know. So everything you will start questioning. Why am I doing this?
Hmm.
Is it really the thing I want to do? If I don't want to do that, it won't give you the quality that you desire from your work, that you desire from your relationship, that you desire from the occupation that you have. So if you're not doing it mindfully, you're likely to be a mediocre or even average person doing that work. There is that famous movie about American movie, education के बारे में.
Three Idiots.
Yeah, Three Idiots. So that photographer, he wants to be a photographer, and
Hmm.
he tells his father, even if I become an engineer, I'll be average engineer. I can be a brilliant photographer instead. So
Right.
those kind of choices can only be made by men, especially if they're aware of what their mind desires, what their spirit wants. So anyone you come across, Suyesh, in your life who is doing, I know there are many. Have you seen anyone and you desperately want him to tell him, boss, don't do this. You're not supposed to do this. You're supposed to do something else. I work with them, so I know most of them are like that. Any personal experience?
Lot of time I see, like, while just going at home, like, a lot of people whom I see now, they are living into the unawareness stage. They don't know why they're doing that and why they get into that conversation. And a lot of time there are patterns, certain patterns when I see itself, a lot of our clients itself, like, when we make them aware that, okay, this pattern is not working for you, then why you are in that pattern, right?
And
So
they
then they,
suddenly woke up
yeah,
like this.
exactly, they
Okay,
start
what are
listening.
you talking about?
Yeah. So even the example when we were discussing, you're talking about, right? Well, you're not noticing and observing the taste, like whatever the food you're eating, especially in lunchtime, right? So all
Yes.
things like that.
Small things. People don't know what
Yeah.
they ate for lunch or how was the taste.
And
And
when did
even,
they do something which makes them happy? That's another thing, right?
yeah,
People often
absolutely.
don't take time for themselves to, whatever they like, to pursue that. They're just, to one or the another doing things consistently, without even knowing that whether that will help you grow. That I
Yeah,
agree
that
with
is one aspect I have seen, Suyash, now that you're a nutritional expert. Like the dopamine release is so important for our mind to keep functioning that we indulge into any kind of behavior which will give us a dopamine release. So eating junk food gives you a dopamine rush, or doing something just out of the blue, or drinking, smoking, all kinds of addiction that brings that dopamine rush, or even the seemingly so good activities like marathon running gives you dopamine rush. I know a very close friend of mine. She wanted to run a half marathon for many years. She finally did it, and she was crying after that. Yeah, I'm not feeling anything because
you. Hmm.
she actually called me. I am not feeling anything. I finished a half marathon after many years, and I am zero feeling because till the time you were chasing that half marathon, it's like money. You keep chasing,
Mhm.
and once you have it, then you realize, okay, it is of no use.
Right.
It is of no
Yes.
importance.
Exactly.
Right.
Whatever dopamine release it was giving you for many years,
Right.
suddenly it has stopped. Now you have achieved it. What
Hmm.
next? What are you going to do? So it's money is also like that. So there is a
Right.
strong correlation. Why I always get into that money, because um, money has been given as a panacea for everything, right? So if you want to lead a good quality of life, if you need a good partner, if you need a good house, if you need a good car, if you need a foreign holidays, for everything you need money. So good health care, which is absolutely untrue. Good health care, you need money. Good hospital, you need lots of money. So why do we need so much of money? Because ultimately we are not taking care of ourselves. And that is where that money chasing begins. And you keep chasing money. And for some of us who get that kind of money, they realize, okay, it is of no use. Same thing happened with me. Okay, I was chasing money at the cost of my health, my peace of mind, my all my issues and everything. And when I had lots of money, then I realized it is of no use. Then I started coming back. Okay, let me go back to the basic and figure out what makes more sense than making money. And that is where I discovered that money has to be a byproduct of what you're doing. It can't be the purpose of your life. Can't be the only obsession of your life. Any closing comments, Prasad, just to let people know? Okay, men in general, I know woman has a different relationship with money that we can discuss separately, but generally for men, how do you want them? Like, if they have one is the childhood upbringing, like the kind of
Right.
parentage or the gene pool that they get, because that is so important. You were lucky enough or fortunate enough to get that kind of parentage,
Mm. Yeah.
right? So
So
most
you
of us are
summarize
not so
it,
fortunate.
yeah. So you summarize it so well. I mean, money is the byproduct, and for all the youngsters who are watching this, so I would always suggest them to follow their passion, and money will flow towards you. So don't just think about, like earlier you said, nah, the year or the day when I will retire or do this thing, I'll go to foreign trip or do something else. So don't set those kind of unrealistic goals, which are anyway going to be not going to be, but rather focus on your passion, what you are good at, and start building your skills. And the money aspect that will come towards you. And I don't know, like as you mentioned, like how much I cannot tell you, but it will be sufficient for you to live a good and
Good life.
healthy life.
Yeah.
Yes, Suresh, closing comment.
Yeah. Like as Prasad, most of the things he put it then into that. So my perspective is follow your passion. Now definitely money will come into life, but invest that money into your health, into your wellness more than you invest into your materialistic things. Like, of course, that there can a lot of people can have different perceptions about that, but that's my take because that's what has helped me grow grow towards that, right? So investing it in the way in your personal growth, in your wellness, in your health will definitely be a big investment and will help you when you'll be growing old in future for sure. So
So
yeah.
my advice to all the men around here, na, like there is a saying, na, if you learn from other people's experiences, all of us would have been geniuses by now. We
Mhm.
don't learn,
Right.
right? We learn only from our own experiences. We want to go and see what money can do or cannot do. So my advice to all the men here: go make as much money as you want as early as possible, and then only you will realize how useful or how not so useful it is. And anyway, you need money to, if you want to sign up for my program, you need lots of money to
Right.
make money.
Exactly.
And then whenever you realize, okay, this is not solving my problem or this is actually creating more problem, come to us. We are there to help you.
Yes.
I can't deal with many people at the same time, so thoda धीरे धीरे आ जाओ. But I will be more than happy to make sense of what you were doing in your life and how it can be changed. But in short, most, as you have been, if you have been brought up in that surrounding of the scarcity mindness, that you need money, rather than abundance wala mindness, I want money. So maybe you just need to shift from that I need money to I want money. Because if you say that I want money, you know what you're going to do with that money. When you say I need money, you don't know what you're going to do with the money. You just need to fill the holes in your mind or your body or your house or whatever you have created yourself for. So make money, go ahead, do whatever you want to do, get as much money as possible, realize how important or not important it is for you, and then work on your life backwards and start from the zero again, and then you will find your true purpose, true calling. By that time, you will learn to listen to yourself, and it is the most important thing that you can do in this life. Learn to listen to yourself. So thank you, Suyash. Thank you, Prasad. It was lovely, and you give me a lot of space to talk all kinds
Always
of.
welcome.
I can talk about everything for hours together.
We love
So
hearing you.
so nice of getting a different perspective on the the issues that matters to men. We'll keep doing that once in a month. Keep following us on social media channel. If you want to work on your health, mind health,
Reach out to us.
spiritual health, do reach out to us. We do a lot of things, mind blowing things in this space. So thank you all and wish you all the best and happy new year.
Thank you. Bye bye, guys. See you.
Bye bye.